We can try that.
We can try.
Okay.
We don't do this very often, as you can see.
We really don't.
I mean,
but
it's fine.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Sarah. And this is
our Twisted World.
Okay, so we don't do videos very often, but we wanted to give you a little background and talk about some really trendy things that have happened recently that you have seen probably go viral on the internet. And all your friends say, hey, make this for me because you're awesome because you crochet just like us.
Which
right?
is pretty much where my social life went.
She has a social life. She has one. It just happens to include hooks and yarn and us.
And girls.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
this is why we're called Twisted, by the way.
Right. we twist your world with yarn, okay? So we're twisting your world today. I have my remote in my hand. That's what I'm playing with.
Which
it's not a hook.
Looks like a little pen.
Yeah, it's one of my S
I don't
pen.
know how she uses it. Anyway.
I'm awesome. No. So Jess and I, we worked together, and she kept bringing in all these wonderful little amigurumi animals, like my favorite octopus, that happened to be left on my desk one day, and we just hit it off after that because we both love to crochet.
And we both love books.
And wine.
And coffee.
And all things yarn.
And lots of we just
nerdy stuff that we don't have to talk about. It's fine, you know.
Fellow Gryffindors,
yeah,
Baby Yoda.
right.
No, I mean, we could go on.
Because we got caught up in the trend of, you know, the child, Baby Yoda, all that good stuff too. And yeah, so we started talking and we just decided, hey, let's let everybody else in.
It wasn't really us. She messages me while I'm still working and goes, hey, so I had this brainstorm idea.
But it wasn't put together at all.
But I was like, yeah, let's do it.
So this is our brainstorm idea.
This is our brainstorm idea, is creating a community, you know, for everybody to share, you know? I mean, just kind of...
Yeah, we like to crochet. We like to share ideas. We like to compare. And that's what we're about to talk about, is comparing. And, you know... I love our friends, and this is not me saying don't stop, because please continue to tag us on Facebook and say, hey, look at this, can you make that? Because that's a lot of fun.
It really is. And
it gives us challenges too. So the wonderful Perfect Shawl with pockets, or Perfect Pocket Shawls.
Something like that. Yeah. That we've been seeing on Facebook and Etsy and Pinterest. It's
Ravelry,
everywhere.
It's everywhere, and everybody tags us in it. Everybody tags everybody else in it. In all of our crochet groups, they're like, hey, who's tried this? Or, hey, look at this awesome little thing. And let me tell you, the lady that designed it was awesome, and I love it. So we were like, hey, let's buy this pattern. So I bought one, then she bought one. We buy your patterns, guys. It helps the designers. So we bought the pattern, and I started first. I didn't mean to. I kind of like her to do things first so I can learn. Okay? Because
you do realize you've been doing this longer.
I still like to see how hers comes out first.
I've been only doing this for a couple years, but like I said, when I get obsessed with something, like, social life is done.
And she works on it. And so I started this one first because I had to, and it was just constantly on my mind. So I did it in the Lion Brand Heartland, or Homeland? Heartland Black Canyon.
Yeah, Heartland.
Heartland, yes. Not that color.
Not this color.
Because that's discontinued, and it's beautiful.
I bought them all.
She didn't even leave any for me. None.
You didn't
None
leave
for
any
me.
Grand Canyon for me, so we're even.
There were 2.
That's not 4. That's needed for the pattern.
We fight each other in Joann's to get yarn at times. But yeah, so I started with the Black Canyon, which is a lot different than the Grand Canyon. No. Grand Canyon. Yeah, Grand Canyon. That she uses in the actual pattern. Black Canyon's a little bit thinner, which I wasn't aware of this when I started. It just is. Has a little bit of a different feel. And you used
Rice Canyon, which is more of a gold color because I am a big fan of fall colors.
She likes her browns and golds.
I like my browns and golds and greens and maroons and
that sounds like all of them.
And the teals.
We like colors.
I like colors.
I like colors. So
but fall colors,
put that over there.
So
this is I followed the pattern exactly. Now, I will tell you, she never follows the pattern correctly. She does her own thing, which is cool. And that's kind of why I like her to do it first. But gauge. So let's talk gauge.
So the pattern called for you to start out your chain with a 10mm hook, and then to move on with
a 9mm hook.
9. Yeah, I didn't.
Or 9. Yeah,
which is what she did.
Which is what I did. I followed the pattern exactly.
I did until the fringe.
Right. I didn't have enough left.
Anyway,
I didn't have enough yarn left.
I did not, because I know that I am with the stitch that was being used. I'm not a tight crocheter, and I don't like. I didn't want it too holy, so I did a swatch, a quick practice one with a 8mm, which is just the size down, and I didn't bother with the 10.
And whatsoever. She thanks me because I told her. If you're a loose crochet, like the wonderful woman on the pattern said, she's a tight crocheter. I really don't know what I am. It just depends on what's going on.
Well,
so
because our plushies and stuff.
I do amigurumi, which is really tight, and then
I can never say that.
I don't often amigurumi. I hear different
because I can't
plushies, amigurumi. We'll talk about all that wonderful stuff later. But yeah, so I don't really know what kind of crocheter I am at times. I think it changes with the pattern. So with me doing this first, I did not do the gauge. I should have, but I didn't, because why? I can be lazy sometimes, and that's what happened. But that's okay, because I still love it. So this is the difference.
I force myself so I don't end up frothing.
And I wrote her, I said, hey, if you are tight at crocheting, use those hooks. But if you're not, because I figured she would know what she is, right? So I said, if you're not, go down a hook or two. And she did. And she did a gauge.
Do you want a gold star?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I don't have one. I'm fresh out, but I am going to the craft store
stars. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
There we go. I'm going to get a gold star. Watch on our next video.
I like gold stickers. Anything that's shiny. It's like a mermaid.
Here's my pocket shawls. I hit Jess in the face. I'm not going to do that. But here's this. There's just one little side of it. Okay? And now let's look at Jess's. Hers is, see how much tighter, like you can really see through mine. You can't really, I mean you can, but it's just that much tighter. Let's bring it forward. Woo! See the differences on how big my holiness of this shawl is? It's a lot different, but I really like it. So in here, so this is like when you're talking weight of yarn and everything, I mean, you kind of have to look. So you see what the pattern says and what yarn they use. So if you can find what yarn they use, if you're like dead set on patterns. So a lot of people, like Jess, she'll take it and she'll be like, oh, I'm going to make it out of this color and I'm going to do this with it. And it looks amazing. She doesn't really have to follow the pattern exactly, but there are people, sometimes I'm one of those people, that want to do exactly what the pattern says with exactly what they used and make it to what they had, which that's great. There's no wrong way to do any of that stuff. But I will tell you, so the pattern, she used Grand Canyon and I used Black Canyon.
I used Bryce Canyon.
And she used Bryce Canyon, and so let's show the difference.
So it's
we gotta bring it forward. Right. So just hold yours.
It's the same style yarn.
Yeah, same style. There you can see. But the Black Canyon is a little bit thinner, and it doesn't have the sheen that the Bryce and the Grand Canyon have.
Or even.
And you can kind of feel it in the texture of the yarn. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's discontinued, but this one too.
It's only because it's a winter color. It will be back during the fall and winter because I emailed and asked.
So you can email Lion Brand and say, hey, is this coming back?
Well, I have one, and I can't.
I know.
It's, just
it's
one,
so beautiful.
So.
Like, look at that. It's just the way it shimmers.
Teals.
Teals are so pretty. You'll probably see that in a lot of our stuff. But we love color. We love rainbow. We love all of it. So, yeah. So, if you want to be like me and be lazy and not do a gauge, this is what might happen. What might happen? What's happening?
Okay, it's not that I'm not.
She
lazy.
did a gauge.
I did a gauge.
She did. She did a gauge based on the 8 hook.
I have a thing that if I don't do the gauge and I don't like how it is, I will frog it and get frustrated and not finish it. Which is why there is 2 ponchos sitting in a tote bag, because
she doesn't know which one she changed.
I don't know which one I changed. Because I got frustrated, put them down, and
that was
it. I don't know which one is the correct one, because I literally was coming up with a pattern by looking off of a photo, because there's no written pattern for it.
See?
So,
she's good.
To be fair,
I can't do that really. Not all that good.
It took me about 2 hours to figure out the main gist, and then another maybe 3 hours to have to finagle and redo. But I got frustrated after a while, which is why I do gauges for things. Because I don't want to.
Gauges are important.
They are.
They are. And you can be like me and be lazy and not do them. And hopefully you love your final product or your, or project. It could be a product, but project, we'll call them projects. Or you're going to end up frogging it. And frogging it, for those of you that don't know, means you're going to rip that thing apart and start all over again.
Which, by the way, we just learned that like 2 weeks ago.
I'm like, why do they keep saying frogging? What is this frogging?
Because rivet.
And it makes a sound when you tear it apart.
So
or, undo it. You're not tearing the yarn apart. You're just undoing it. And it goes ribbit, 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 ribbit. It's pretty entertaining. So we send each other pictures of frogs when we have to frog something. And both of us are kind of crying and laughing at the same time because, like, oh, sucks for you. All that hard work. You're going to do it all over again. But hey, that means it'll be just that much better.
We're literally sending messages throughout the entire day.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Horrible pictures to each other.
Or gift wars if we're in that mood. It just kind of depends on what's going on.
Yeah, it does. Because we crochet, like, all day long.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting in front of a computer all day. I have nothing. If I'm not busy, it's kind of hard because I am working from home thanks to, our lovely current situation.
The world today.
Yeah, just singing.
The world today.
The world today.
But yes.
But I get bored. I can't sit there and stare at a computer screen. I will go bonkers. So me having something to do and this works. That's actually how I started. Was my first job after I moved down here 2 years ago was another customer service, call agent, whatever thing.
Oh.
But I worked nights.
Oh.
Which was boring.
Boring.
By the way. There's only so much coffee can do at 1 or 2 in the morning when you're staring at 2 computer screens.
But we love coffee, so that's okay. Do you love coffee?
But it was only so helpful.
Yes.
So, one of my friends, Shar. Hey, shout out. I love you. Anyway, she got me started. I mean, I had learned a little bit years before from my nanny, but
you only listened to that so long?
I was more into drawing and painting and reading and other stuff at that point in time, so I didn't really take up much. But when I did, that was it. It was done.
It's done. That was it. So how long ago that? 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I moved here almost exactly 2 years.
So since we want to just do that real quick, I can say when I started.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 20 years ago.
The blanket.
Plus, because I'm not going to give away my age. Some of you know my age and you don't have to say that.
You're forever 29.
Sure. But over 20 years ago, my Aunt Sharon, she taught me how to crochet before I was visiting them up in Connecticut. And we were going on a long car ride to the coast. And she was like, hey, here's some yarn. Let's do some granny squares. You can make some pot holders. I think that's what she had me make. I know it was granny squares. And so the entire car ride, it's like a 2-hour car ride, I sat there in the back seat after what she taught me and I crocheted the entire way. And so then I started a blanket, and because I live in Florida, it's very hot. I don't want to work on that thing during the summer.
It's still no excuse
so
for 20 years.
I just finished it this year. Like 2 months ago. It's not where I wanted it to be. I was like, I'm done. It's big enough. Because I planned it being a king size blanket. I mean, that's huge. And I was doing, it was a, the little puff stitch, like the single crochet and then a double crochet and a single and a double and a single and a double over and over and over again. And the front loops, and then actually most of it was in the front loops and then back loops and all that good stuff. And so that takes a little bit. It takes some time. And yeah, so I decided this year I was going to finish it. And I did. So I'm really excited about that. It's really entertaining to see the edges from when I first started to as I continued on and on and on. It's very crooked. That's okay. It's mine. I love it. So yeah, just over 20 years ago I started, and probably I'd say the last 5 years I've been more involved in crochet and making a bunch of different things. I learned amigurumi and fell in love. YouTube. I YouTubed that back and forth. And if I didn't understand them, like sometimes YouTube videos, they show you what you're crochet, they show you their hands. And so, well, yeah, and it was in like Spanish or it was in some other language. And I can understand Spanish somewhat, but yeah, there's, look at that, Tuhulu, right? I can never pronounce it. Don't hate me.
HP Lovecraft.
Don't hate me, HP Lovecraft lovers. Don't hate me. I can't pronounce it.
So,
and I own that. It's okay. I own it. But yes, amigurumi. So
these are my passion things. Actually, I just made this today.
She did. She said, "Here's my afternoon project." I said, "You're awesome."
Because I work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm not awake yet. I'll have messages from her, but I'm not awake yet.
She answers me.
So
you
yeah,
do it at midnight sometimes.
I do. 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you're getting up in 2 hours, but here you go. So yeah, that's how that started. And so we've done animals and we've done shawls, and we're gonna look forward to just crocheting with you guys. So that's kind of what we want to do. We want to sit here, chat. Once we have some more followers, which come on and follow our page. We'll do more live shows, and we'll just sit and crochet, and if it's a free pattern, we'll link it. If it's a paid pattern, we'll link it, so you guys can find the pattern and join us, you know, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I hope you guys have fun with us. I hope that you guys will crochet, and if you have any questions, we'll find the answers, or we'll give them to you right there. That's what I ask her questions all the time.
She really does.
Always. What is this? I don't get this.
There's times I'm just like, wait, what did you just say?
It's true. And then I'll send her a video of me doing it.
And then I get it. And then it's good. And then I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay. So you do this.
It's
this
cool.
is how you do that.
Yeah.
Which
and then I don't understand what she's saying, but it's all right because I didn't understand to begin with. And then finally it clicks. Finally it clicks. Because that's how my mind works, you know. But that's okay. So yes, we're going to crochet with you guys. We're going to talk different subjects like today, gauging and seeing the differences of what happens, and doing those fun trendy little things.
We won't be doing blankets for a while because again, this is Florida. This is hot, even inside.
We'll do summer shawls, and we'll do
so blankets will be
winter time.
Well, our kind of winter time, which is, you know,
fall. It's fall. I mean, it may be spring. Fall. It's like spring in Florida. But that's okay. It gets cold. And my house gets cold, so it'll be nice and cold. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll do that. And like one of our, we're going to talk differences between written patterns and drawn patterns. I don't understand the drawn patterns. I try, but I don't get it. So she's going to teach us how to understand that. I like written patterns.
I like written patterns, but a lot of the time, I just did a shawl And I was complaining to her because I couldn't understand the written part of it whatsoever, but I could follow the diagram no problem. Diagram made it so much easier.
She gets it.
And she looked at it, went, I have no idea what
I handed it back to her. I said, you have fun with that. And
Because
show me when you're done.
Well, it was just the way it was written. It didn't. There were certain things that definitely didn't match up with the diagram, so it was little.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It happens.
That's what we're gonna talk about.
But
We're
we'll talk about
gonna play with that stuff. So if you have the same problems that I do or that she doesn't, come join us.
Problems sometimes.
We have problems. We all have problems, but it's okay. We're all each other's people. We're people.
That's
It's
what they
fine.
invented wine for.
That is why they invented wine, which I'm gonna go have here in a minute. So, all right, we are going to sign off. And any questions, ask. We're going to be setting everything up, and we're excited. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.